This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Unfortunate situation. The 29 of Sloan Henderson is on the inside on the apron area of the racetrack as they're working out of turn number 4, and around goes one car as they're coming toward pit road. The 33 Milcaduno sliding down pit road, and that brings out our first caution.
I think that may have been precipitated by Sloan. Those cars seeing Sloan on the inside. There may have been some people that moved to the outside just to give her a little bit more room, even though she...
Let's look again at what happened.
You see some cars moving around about mid-pack. There's going to be some contact. Looked like the 33 Milcaduno tried to move back to the inside. And I believe that was Will Kimmel that was already committed to the inside next to the yellow line, and they made a little bit of contact. She did a nice job keeping that 33 car out of the inside wall.
Back, going into the infield. The 11 of Lolani Munter. Around goes, or excuse me, the 12 of Levante Munter goes around.
We stay green for the moment, as she knows caution is out now just as she gets that car refired.
We're riding along with Lolani, and she heard it going down.
Yeah. She realized she had a problem there. She had a couple cars behind her, but she realized she had a problem, and that kept her from getting some serious damage, maybe getting into the inside.
A little story on Brandon McReynolds. The last time he was in victory lane here at Daytona, he was only 9 months old, and that's because his dad, Larry, was crew chief for Davey Allison, who won the Daytona 500 back then. Right now, he's looking to get back.
Well, we got Bill Coffey coming across the stripe, but after being into the wall, coming out of turn number 4, so Bill Coffey brings out the caution once again. Right front tire down.
Yeah,
but
may have cut down a right front tire.
Just to get back to 11.
Take a look at what happened here with Coffey. He's the 18 on the outside, into the wall there, and then just stayed in the wall all the way through the trial.
Yeah, he may have cut a tire down.
It's out in front. Ryan Reed running second after starting second. So Brandon McReynolds starts 11th, and we got problems with our pole winner, Sean Corr in the 82. Smoke rolling out of that race car.
I believe he pushed too much water out of it, Ty.
Yeah, you got to push the limits on your tape, and he just ran a little too hot. It looks like the smoke stopped now, and maybe just push.
The DirecTV blimp. And there's the steam rolling out of the right side of that race car.
Looking a little terminal right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, coming out of the exhaust, that's usually not a good sign. It looks like he got her shut down, though, and kept from putting oil on the track.
So what will play out as far as fuel is concerned at Daytona? We'll take a quick break and be right back for the final 13 laps. A lot of drivers needing a caution. One comes out as we have just 11 laps remaining here at Daytona. Cars involved: Rick Clifton in the 11 up against the wall, Sloan Henderson in the 29, and James Hilton in the 48, all involved in this. And there you see the 48 of James Hilton. Remember, James Hilton, a 76-year-old driver here.
A lot of damage to the back of James's car. Let's see if we can see what happened here. See two cars together. That's James on the inside of the racetrack, moves up the hill right in front of Sloan Henderson. She had absolutely nowhere to go, as well as Rick Clifton in the 11 car.
Clifton stays up against the wall. Sloan came down, as well as James, but it looked like James was in front of another car and got turned around right on the bottom of the racetrack.
A lot of damage to that 29 car. That's Brian Keselowski's race team. Have enough fuel here to get ready for this restart.
When they come to the stripe, the green flag will come out with 5 laps of racing to go. Brandon McReynolds, Chris Buescher, Chris Windham, Will Kimmel, Steve Blackburn, your top 5. Green flag goes back in the air. Right to the double yellow line goes the 4 of Brandon McReynolds. He'll try to hug that yellow line for the final 5 laps.
These guys really have to be on their toes with the possibility of some of these cars up front running out of gas.
Single file line, 1 through 10. Early on, breaking away from the rest of the pack here.
Now the pushing is going to happen. People are going to be fighting for room on this racetrack.
Down the backstretch. A couple cars taking a peek outside of the line.
Chris Buescher third in line. Now remember, he followed Bobby Gerhart for just about the last half of this race and never was able to make a move on him. Is he going to still sit there again and finish third, or going to try to make something happen?
We haven't seen a lot of contact as far as bump drafting all the way up to the final 5 laps. Will it happen now? 4 to go for Brandon McReynolds in the number 4 car out front. Chris Windom in the 32, running second. Does he come up? Do they work together as a 2-car tandem? You see the 17 falling back just a bit. That's Chris Buescher running third.
Well, if they're going to make a move, they need to have a little bit of gap. You can't be right on him and make a move. Maybe that was intentional. Ooh, Polly Haraka gets around.
Polly Haraka spins and goes into the infield. Caution does not come out yet. We stay green.
Side by side for second. Now Chris Buescher did make the move on Chris Windom.
Buescher on the outside, Windom on the inside. They stay side by side. Field coming out of turn number 4. It's still Brandon McReynolds out in front. We stay green. 3 laps of racing to go.
Chris Buescher was not able to clear the 32 of Windom. Now Will Kimmel in the 68 car is going to close up that spot on the bottom. Now he's third.
Polly Haraka back out on the track after spinning and going into the infield. We stay green. Down the back stretch they go with just under 3 laps to go. The 4
fighting for space back there.
The 4 of Brandon McReynolds watching as they fan out behind him. He's loving that as long as he stays on the yellow line. Max Gresham in the 9, just in front of the 44 of Kimmel. Those two looked like they were going to work together, and now Gresham dropping back.
Kimmel jumps to the inside.
This time by 2 laps of racing to go.
Trouble.
Reynolds, Windom, and around goes the 17 of Buescher. He'll slide back up the racetrack. Great job by Buescher to hold it down under the double yellow line.
There was a little bit of contact. Chris Buescher got turned around. Remember what we talked about? Green, white checker, having enough fuel? That's what we're going to see.
The caution has come out once again. They will open pit road to give them the opportunity if they want to come down. Once the field has made its way back around and the pace car has picked up the lead car, which is Brandon McReynolds.
See Mark Rett right there, crew chief for Brandon McReynolds, said, why did we have to get a caution?
With just 2 laps of racing to go.
See where the contact is. You see right now, it looks like that Nelson Kanachi in the 35 car gets in the back of the 17.
Nelson all over the back bumper, the 17. The 17 spins. See the 55, or the 55 of Polly Haraka made his way onto pit road. Take a look at this as they cross the stripe. What a great shot.
Yeah.
They'll make their way up onto the racetrack. They need to be in single file line behind the pace car, and that's what the field is beginning to do now. They'll pack in behind that 4 of Brandon McReynolds. He has to go extra distance if he wants to get to victory lane in Daytona. Pace car has made its way off of the racetrack. Green flag back in the air. Can they make it 2 more laps? Brandon McReynolds coming up to speed. Chris Windom just behind him. Will Kimmel running third in that 68.
We had 1 car run out of gas. Alex Bowman in the 22 car ran out of gas. There he is right there. He will definitely not make it around if he'll make the hard left-hand turn and get out of the way. Looks like that's what he's going to do.
He turns off the racetrack, gets out of the racing groove. Now the question is, who's going to make it to the finish? Those that are gambling on fuel.
A little bit over a lap, a little less than a lap and a half to go right now for our leaders.
Coming out of turn number 4. This time they'll see the white flag, meaning 1 more lap of racing at Daytona. White flag in the air. Brandon McReynolds 2.5 miles away from his first victory in the Arca Racing Series.
Brandon McReynolds had a great run at Talladega last year, had a fuel pickup issue, was not in contention at the end of the race, even though he was running up front. He's got about 3/4 of a lap here to get it done.
Will someone gamble and peek outside of this line? Down the backstretch they go sideways. Back about 6th place was Charleston, I believe.
I believe that was Brett Hudson in the
just
09.
behind him in the 09.
Got turned completely sideways and saved it.
Into turn 3 and 4 for potentially the final time. Brandon McReynolds in front of Chris Windom, trying to hold on. Coming out of turn number 4.
Windom
Look at the run. Look at the run by Bobby Garrett.
Great variation in speed, and somebody got together.
They need to slow it down here. This race is over. There's cars flying through here with cars sideways. Did we just say? And that's what the field is beginning to do now. They'll pack in behind that 4 of Brandon McReynolds. He has to go extra distance if he wants to get to victory lane in Daytona. Pace car has made its way off of the racetrack. Green flag back in the air. Can they make it 2 more laps? Brandon McReynolds coming up to speed. Chris Wyndham just behind him. Will Kimmel running third in that 68.
We had 1 car run out of gas. Alex Bowman in the 22 car ran out of gas. There he is right there. He will definitely not make it around if he'll make the hard left-hand turn and get out of the way. Looks like that's what he's going to do.
He turns off the racetrack, gets out of the racing groove. Now the question is, who's going to make it to the finish? Those that are gambling on fuel.
A little bit over a lap, a little less than a lap and a half to go right now for our leaders.
Coming out of turn number 4. This time they'll see the white flag, meaning 1 more lap of racing at Daytona. White flag in the air. Brandon McReynolds 2.5 miles away from his first victory in the Arca Racing Series.
Brandon McReynolds had a great run at Talladega last year, had a fuel pickup issue. Was not in contention at the end of the race, even though he was running up front. He's got about 3/4 of a lap here to get it done.
Will someone gamble and peek outside of this line? Down the backstretch they go sideways. Back about 6th place was Charleston, I believe.
I believe that was Brett Hudson.
Hudson
in the
just behind him in the 09.
Got turned completely sideways and saved it.
Into turn 3 and 4 for potentially the final time. Brandon McReynolds in front of Chris Wyndham, trying to hold on. Coming out of turn number 4. Look at the run. Look at the run by Bobby Gerhardt. Gerhardt on the outside. 4 wide as they come into the tri-oval. Gerhardt coming through the tri-oval, and he'll win again. 8-time winner, Bobby Gerhardt.
Trouble as they pass across the start-finish line. And all sorts of cars out of fuel. Great variation in speed, and somebody got together.
They need to slow it down here. This race is over. There's cars flying through here with cars sideways. Did we just say you can't count Bobby Gerhardt out until the checkered flag flies? Bill Gerhardt celebrating, saying, how did this just happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happened. Guys like the 4 of Brandon McReynolds running out of gas. Wyndham in the 32 running out of gas. The 68 of Will Kimmel running out of gas.
And guess what? They stopped 1 lap later than those other cars did. 1 lap, and that's all it took. And they go to victory lane for the 8th time here. Watch this, Rick.
Coming out of turn number 4.
Wyndham's the first one to run out of gas.
That pack of 3 checking up now. Kimmel trying to move to the inside. You see the 4 runs out of gas. And slingshotting around the outside is Bobby Gerhardt getting win 8 at Daytona.
Then they just got all jumbled up there. They were 4 wide with the cars running out of gas along with the cars trying to get to the finish.
I'll tell you what, Bobby Gerhardt just put himself in a class of his own.
Certainly did. Look at this now. Look at how slow Brandon is right in the middle of the racetrack. See people get turned around right there. How about the job Brett Hudson did with the 09 car? Watch.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.